Yashimashkin, welcome. My name is Ben, aka Irazumi Akuma, and welcome to another card gameplay with Dams. Now, this is... what day are we on? We're on Wednesday. It's been a bloody long week, which means that it is random topic time. Now, when I was thinking about random topics this week, I kind of thought I had two ideas. I was going to do something on memories, thinking about some funny times that have happened to me, and there was quite a lot, all about music. Now, I've decided to do music purely because I love music. I've been brought up on music from my dad. Kind of grew up, and then my music has slightly changed as I've got older. But I wanted to give you my 5 top favourite bands, and then tell you how my music's changed, and maybe you could tell me how your music's changed or what you're into and stuff like that. So I'm pretty set in terms of music. Oh, before I actually go into it, this is a game on Redwood where I'm using Shiva. The class will be up on the screen now, and I go 43 for 5. It was quite a funny gameplay. I got the Wraith and the Raps twice. I think the second time I get it's near the end, but still gets a couple of kills. But it was decent gameplay. But yeah, so music. When I was younger, I'm talking about when I was at high school, so that's a long time ago. I'm 28 now. I was into things like skateboarding music, so like Sum 41, Blink-182, all that, like kind of like punky scary kind of music, Less Than Jake and stuff like that. I still love that today. Less Than Jake are one of my favourite bands. But as I got older, I kind of changed, and the reason why I changed is because of my brother. Now, my brother's a big influence on me in terms of style and music, and he was his music changed, and we got into the same things. But my main influence is my dad as well. My dad was a massive person in Northern Soul scene, and if you don't know what Northern Soul was, it was kind of like music, and like it kind of grew bigger and bigger in the 70s and 80s from 60s, like Motown and things like that, and it was like kind of like dance music of the early times, and it was really quick. And my dad had hundreds and hundreds of vinyls that were worth a hell of a lot of money, and I kind of grew up on that and Motown and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of went into that, and then I kind of like developed kind of like into the mod scene. So when I was kind of like university, I would wear a parka, and I'd have the Paul Weller haircut, look completely ridiculous, and then I'd go out. I was starting to go out at that point when I was 18, 19 kind of thing, to clubs and stuff. And at that point, I managed to make a couple of friends who were quite big in the scene, and I was able to start DJing in and around Birmingham. And I DJ'd at Snobs and Resurrection every other week in the 60s Soul Motown room, and it was fantastic. I earned good money. It was good for all kind of benefits. You can use your imagination, but it was good times, man. Really good times. And as I grew older, my music started to change slightly, because I was following my brother, and I got into things back into stuff that I was listening to when I was younger, so into things like Less Than Jake and all that kind of stuff, and then I found a band who I absolutely love now. I've got tattooed on me. I absolutely love them to bits. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and now my style is all kind of like linked around that. I'm into like leather jackets, motorbikes, that kind of idea. I only wear really black, kind of like that. Some people are going to say goth, but I'm not a goth. I can assure you I'm not a goth. But that kind of idea. Now, my favourite band, as I said, is still Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Now, I really would think you need to go and listen to them, because they are an amazing band. And the intro that I had before this one, that was one of their songs with a heavy bass, and there's only 3 of them, and they make such a fantastic sound for 3 people, and they're one of the best bands live. They're unbelievable live. You need to go and watch them. They are so good. So Black Rebel Motorcycle Club coming definitely at number 1. They are incredible, and still going today, and they are a fantastic band. Number 2, Jimmy Eat World, one of the best bands ever. I've only ever seen them once, which is sad. I don't know why that's just come on. 1 second, let me just turn that off. There we go. But Jimmy Eat World are a fantastic band, and still today I still listen to them pretty much every day. I'd probably say my favourite song off Jimmy Eat World is Work. You need to listen to that song. That song's amazing, but they are fantastic, and they were brilliant live when I saw them. I'd then say probably Dead Weather. Dead Weather are quite a heavy band. It's Jack White, kind of like a super group with Alison Mosshart from The Kills and things like that. If you don't know who these bands are, you need to look them up and have a listen, because I think you'd probably like them. But Dead Weather are definitely up there. I think they're a really cool band. The style is really cool. I then say Robert Cray, which is completely different. Robert Cray is someone from like the 80s, but he's a fantastic guitarist. He's kind of like a jazz guitarist. Really cool guy. A bit cheesy, but his music is fantastic. And then finally, I'd probably say the Verve. Kind of grew up with the Verve. My dad loved the Verve. My brother loves the Verve. I love the Verve. The Verve are cool, and they've made some fantastic records. And I still listen to them pretty much every day. They're still fantastic. And I think Richard Ashcroft's a really good singer. They're a great band. So they're probably my 5 favourite bands. I'm pretty set in my music, that in the sense that if you don't like it, then don't bother me. Like, I'm never going to listen to anything else. I'll never listen to dance, rap, anything like that. I can't stand it. So, but let me know what you listen to and tell me about your influences and where you've got your music from and how it's changed or how it's stayed the same, really. But anyway, that was random topics for this week. A nice short video. The next video will be out on Friday, which will be what's going on in my head, which will be another episode of that where I tell you what's going on when I'm playing, and hopefully I'll get a couple more videos out on Saturday and Sunday. I hope you've had a fantastic start to the week, Monday, Tuesday and today, and I hope you have a fantastic end of the week. And if you could drop a subscribe and like, that would be much appreciated. And I will speak to you very soon. I'll speak to you Friday. Have a great week, and as I say in Birmingham, ta-da for now.